I'm going to tell you a little bit today about how I got my dream job and also what I did afterwards, because your dream job doesn't last forever, unfortunately. I work at CodeBase in Edinburgh. We work with startups. We've got about 100 different companies in this building here that you can see. They work on loads of different things like game design, app design, 3D printing, and I never really thought I would be working with startups because a couple of years ago I was doing my dream job as the editor of a magazine, which was super cool. We did loads of stuff. I wasn't as cool as this lady here, unfortunately. But we wrote loads of articles, we put videos up on YouTube, and we did loads of social media content, podcasts, and I got paid to do all of that, which was amazing. We wrote about film, art, music, loads of arts and culture stuff, which was really great and has been my passion since I was 10 years old. So when I was 10, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I really liked books, film, art, and I really liked writing. So about 10 years after this, I went to Edinburgh University to study English literature, and I got involved in the student newspaper there, which was a really good experience for writing. And at that time, it was just writing, really. We didn't really do video content, but you can see that Boris Johnson was still campaigning a long time ago. It was a really good place to meet people, a really good place to get experience. So if you've got a student paper here at school, then I'd really recommend that you do it if you like writing, or start one if you don't. We won loads of awards, which was great because it meant that when I went to get a job, I could tell them I was actually an award-winning writer. But the problem with wanting to live in Scotland and being a journalist is that there are unfortunately not that many jobs, and I didn't really want to move to London. So instead I had to think about my skills instead of the job that I wanted. What it meant is I felt like I really wanted to be a journalist, and everything was clicking into place in the way that kind of Lego clicks into place. So if you're ever lucky enough to do something and feel like things are fitting, then pay attention to that feeling, because it might actually be that you found the job that's right for you. But yeah, I couldn't find a job as a journalist in Scotland, so I kind of had to think about what I was good at, and I knew I could write well and I could write fast, and that I could learn really quickly. So I ended up getting a job for a marketing agency writing tech news, which is not something I knew anything about at that point. I didn't know anything about tech, but there was a lot of cool stuff happening at the time. It was when the first iPhone came out, so it was quite a long time ago, and I learned loads of stuff while I worked there. But I still really wanted to write about books and film and music. So what I did was, while I was doing this at the same time, I took all the experience I could to write about those other things as well. And it was a really long road. So every year I would just get a little bit more experience and more people started working with me. And eventually what happened was I ended up being in the right place at the right time. In Edinburgh, in August, we have the Edinburgh Festival, which is the world's biggest art festival. And you can there's so much stuff that goes on. There's so much theatre, there's a book festival, music, the film festivals in the summer as well. So actually Edinburgh is a really good place if you like writing about these things. But I was working for a magazine called The List, which is Scotland's biggest arts and culture magazine. I happened to be there during the festival, working for them when their editor left. And then they asked me if I wanted the job. And if I hadn't been there at the time, then I literally would not have got my dream job. So it was great. It kind of felt like I'd sort of worked really hard for so long, and I managed to get my dream job. But it took a really long time. I was probably 19 when I realized that's what I wanted to do, and then I was 29 when I got that job. So it does take a while to get to where you want to go. You might hear people say something like it takes 10,000 hours of practice to become really, really good at what you want to do. That's probably about 10 years of work, about 1,000 hours a year of working really hard at what you want to do, but it does pay off. So if you like doing something but you don't think you're very good at it, then keep doing it, because you will get better at it as well. So when people tell you to practice, it is true. Practice does make you better at stuff. The other thing that I really enjoyed about working there is working with loads of different writers. I got really good at writing. I got to basically decide what we covered, like what we covered in writing, what videos we made, what podcasts we did, and it was really fun. If you can have fun somewhere, then people will really enjoy working with you as well. It was also super glamorous. I got to go to loads of parties. I got to travel. I got to go to Korea once for 3 days. I won awards and I got to judge awards. One year I judged the Scottish Album of the Year award, which was really fun. But I also decided that I wanted to move on after 5 years because things can get a bit stale if you stay in the same place. So again, I thought, what am I good at? If I'm not going to have another job in journalism, what skills do I have? And I realised I was organised, I was good at talking to people, and I had a lot of connections with creative people in Edinburgh and in Scotland as well. And that led me to my next job, which was working for an organisation called Creative Edinburgh. I met loads of really cool people that did really interesting creative jobs, and it led me to what I do now, which is working with startups at CodeBase in Edinburgh. So I work with people that want to work to build sort of creative products and create their own startup. It's been a really, really fun journey. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you are lucky enough to get your dream job, that's not really the end of the road. There will be things that happen after that as well. So it's important to think about the skills that you have, because your career will be a patchwork of lots of different things, and you'll get to enjoy lots of different things as well. Thank you.